In politics, decisions are made quietly, behind closed doors, in back rooms, or during private meetings. But sometimes a single conversation can shake the foundations of an entire administration. That's exactly what seems to have happened this particular week at the White House. A woman named Laura Loomer, a far right activist known for making very wild and controversial claims, met with President Donald Trump. And not long after that particular meeting, several senior staff members from the National Security Council were suddenly fired. But what's really going on here? Let's break it down in simple terms. First of all, let's get to know who is Laura Loomer. Loomer isn't a government official. She is a policy expert. She is an activist who became famous for saying extreme things online. She called herself a proud Islamophobe, and she was even banned from social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter. Now we call it X for hate speeches. During 2024 campaign, Loomer was often spotted near Trump. She attended his events, posted support for him online, and even seemed to predict what he might say next. She is part of a growing group of influencers who now have real access to powerful people in the government. After Loomer met with the president on Wednesday, something unusual happened. 3 senior staffers at the National Security Council were fired. But yes, these weren't just low-level aides. They were experienced professionals. Brian Walsh, a director for intelligence who once worked for Senator Marco Rubio. Thomas Boudreau, senior director for legislative affairs. David Faith, a national security and tech expert who also served in Trump's earlier administration. All 3 of them recently gone through loyalty checks to prove that they were aligned with Trump's agenda. But Loomer reportedly gave Trump a list of people that she didn't trust, and after the meeting, those names started getting crossed-off. Let's think about this. Here's a question for you. Should a political influencer with no official role have the power to get a national security staff fired? Trump told the reporters on Air Force One, "We let go of people who aren't doing a good job or who may be loyal to somebody else." But when asked about Loomer's influence, he called her a very good patriot and said she sometimes makes recommendations not just about firing people but also hiring them. Well, that's a lot of influence for somebody with no formal government position. Well, there is more drama behind the scenes. One key figure who hasn't been fired, at least not yet, is Alex Wong, Trump's principal deputy national security advisor. But Loomer directly attacked him too, calling him Never Trumper. Interestingly, Wong's boss, Michael Waltz, is also under a lot of pressure. He's facing backlash for a leaked signal message chain where his entire team discussed military strikes on Yemen. Even though Trump is backing him publicly for now, insiders say that Waltz could also be on a very shaky ground. In the meantime, Wong's name is still floating around as somebody who could be fired soon. Well, the Oval Office meeting wasn't just Loomer and Trump. Several powerful figures were also present there, including Susie Wills, Trump's chief of staff, who used to try and block Loomer's access; Sergio Gore, head of Presidential Personnel Office. There was also Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and none other than Vice President J.D. Vance. Well, this wasn't just a casual chat. The presence of so many high-ranking people suggests that this particular meeting was approved and carefully coordinated. But yes, this isn't the very first time an activist has influenced staffing decisions. Earlier, another far-right figure named Christopher Rufo shared chat logs showing national security staff sharing inappropriate messages. That led to more firing. Rufo also pushed a wild rumor that migrants were eating people's pets in Ohio, a claim that Trump referred in the debate. Turns out, Rufo admitted that there wasn't solid proof, but the damage was already done. Loomer has also made a bizarre comment. She once joked that if Kamala Harris, who is part of Indian origin, becomes president, the White House will smell like curry and will run like call center. Now, these kind of statements show the kind of rhetoric that's gaining real political traction. Well, the story tells us about how Trump's second administration is working. It shows that activists, influencers, online personalities are shaping the decision at the highest level, sometimes even more than the trained experts. It also raises big question. What happens when loyalty becomes more important than experience? Is this a sign of strong leadership or dangerous favoritism? How much should personal politics play into national security decision? Let us know in the comments.